welcome back to my channel. My name is Georgia. I hope you're well. I'm gonna merge my two usual videos into one just because my numbers really are slacking this month. So I'm gonna do today's video as a what I read in August and what I plan to read in September sort of merged into one. So I usually do these separately, like I say, but honestly it's just not worth a full video because I have barely read this month. It's actually quite sad. I do feel like I am in a bit of a slum. Like, the books I'm reading I'm really enjoying, but it's just like getting the motivation to actually read them has been a struggle. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and as always my social medias and Amazon and things are in the description box below. Let's talk about what I've read, what I plan to read. So in terms of the books that I'd chosen for August, I chose 6 books for this month. I chose A Court of Frost and Starlight, A Court of Silver Flame, both by Sarah J Maas, and then I chose It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, Flock by Kate Stewart, A Feather So Black by Lyra Celine, and Mile High by Liz Tomford. So yeah, I chose those 6 books and I did read 3 of the books off my TBR. So the first book that I read in August was A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J Maas. Now this is like the teeny novella in the ACOTAR series. So you have your first 3 books that are about like Feyre and her journey. You have this little novella, and then the next book in the series sort of transitions to a different character's like perspective in a way. This is the little novella. It's only a short one. Like, I did fly through this. It only took me a couple of sit-ins. But this book has like a really nice shift. So this book goes from, like I said before, it being like mostly Feyre's perspective to being a bit of everybody's in this book. Like, you get some from Rhysand, you get some from like Moore, you get some from Cassian. Like, you do hear a bit from like most characters in this book. And I really liked that. Like, I thought that was quite interesting because we never really hear from other characters. So this is like a little winter solstice book. Like, this is definitely a winter read. I really enjoyed this book. I've seen a lot of like mixed reviews on this one and a lot of people saying they didn't really like this one, but I did enjoy it. I thought it was a really cozy read. Like, don't get me wrong, nothing big happens. It's not like a big drama-filled book, like it's teeny, but it's just a really nice sort of like shift, really nice pace. Like, it's just, I've damaged it there. I don't know if you can see that, but I've like damaged it there. Wounded. I really enjoyed this book. I don't particularly like rating novellas, but I did rate this one 4 stars. Like I say, it's not as action-filled as the other ones. It is like a nice relaxed transition book. I still really enjoyed it. 4 stars from me. The next book that I read in August was It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. Now, I am so late to the party with this one, like so late to the party. I've had this book on my shelf since the beginning of my reading journey, so I'm talking all the way back in like January I got this book, and I've only just read it now, 8 months later. I wanted to read this ready to go and watch it in the cinema because it came out in the cinema this month. How do I explain this book without reading it? This follows our main character, Lily. Lily bumps into this guy. She's not sort of like the one night stand sort of type, but she does have this like instant connection with him and they sort of bond over a bit of trauma on the rooftop. And then they sort of like part ways as like a probably won't see you again, nice to have met you sort of scenario. Lily then opens her own flower shop. This lady comes in to say that like she'd like a job. That turns out to be Ryle's sister. So Lily and Ryle then sort of like reconnect, meet up, start dating, things like that. And this book sort of like follows Lily and Ryle's relationship. Then Lily bumps into her first love, and it kind of then, it's sort of like Lily navigating this really like deep and sort of like difficult relationship with Ryle, whilst also trying to juggling her feelings towards Atlas, which is her first love from when she was younger. This is just Lily's POV, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure it was. And then it also switches between that and Lily reading these letters that she used to write when she was younger, which was around the time she was with Atlas. This book does cover some difficult topics. I definitely just checked the trigger warnings. It is a bit difficult at times. There is definitely some difficult scenes in this book. I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was really sweet. I rated this 4 stars in the end. I do prefer the book to the film. The film was good though. The film was really good, but I just feel like there's a lot more detail in this, and like especially towards like the trauma and stuff. The book's just better, but that's usually the case. I still really enjoyed the film though. But yeah, so I rated the book 4 stars. I did really enjoy it, and I can't wait to read the next one. The last book that I read in August was Flock by Kate Stewart. Now, I loved this book. I really enjoyed it. I read it on my Kindle, but I also listened to it as well, so I sort of did a bit of both. I was listening to it in the car on the way to and from work, not quite realising how spicy some of the scenes are in this book. I've never listened to like spice. I don't really do audiobooks as a rule. don't massively like them, but I did quite like switching between reading it at home and listening to it on the way to work and things. This book is really great, really spicy, very drama filled. So yeah, Flock is it's book 1 in the Ravenhood series. There are 3 in total, I want to say. There's Flock, Exodus and Finish Line. I'm pretty sure that's it. So Flock follows Cecilia, and she has moved to this town where she basically has to go and work for her dad for a year to get her inheritance, and her father is the owner of this huge company. On Cecilia's first day of work, she bumps into this guy. This guy is called Sean. They sort of like hit it off right away. She decides to be brave, and like he asks her if she wants to come to this party, and she's like, do you know what? I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna go. New chapter, new life, new me. I'm just gonna go. So she goes to this party, and it's basically like this massive party of all these people, and they're all like doing drugs and drinking, and that's not really her. But she's like, do you know what? I'm just gonna see how we get on. I'm just gonna stay, see what it's like. And it kind of goes from there. It is a super spice book, and the books in this scene are really good, like the whole raft situation. If you have read this book, you will know exactly what I'm on about. I honestly enjoyed it so much. I would probably give this book 4.5. I don't actually think I've officially rated it on my phone, so there's no point looking there. But I have rated it, I think, 4.5. I did really enjoy this. Like I say, I did read it as a switch between sort of like audiobook and Kindle, which was a bit weird in my first time really doing proper audiobooks. But I did really enjoy it. I enjoyed the whole situation. I'm excited to read the next few books. So I'm going to look at getting the set for my bookshelves, and then I am hoping to like finish this series and continue with the series. I do really enjoy it, and I'm curious to see with the ending sort of like how this goes. The ending of the first book was like, that's not good. That's not good. How is this going to go down? So I am definitely intrigued to see sort of how it goes for Cecilia and the whole situation, to be honest. I know I'm being very vague, but I just don't want to ruin it for you guys if you haven't read it, but I do definitely recommend it. So those were the 3 books that I read in August. Like I say, I'm a bit disappointed that I only got 3 books done. I have started a 4th that I'm going to be finishing in September that I'll talk about in a moment. I did only get 3 books read, which I'm not best impressed with, so I'm hoping that next month will be a little bit better. But like I said, all the books are like 4 stars and above, so I don't know why I've been struggling so much to like pick them up and read them. So I'm hoping September goes a little bit more smoothly. And now let's talk about the books I'm hoping can get me back into my reading this month. I have only chose 3 books just with my lack of reading this month. I don't want to like overwhelm myself with it. So my plan is to sort of like wrap up some series, which is a big thing for me because I don't usually like finishing series, and I am wondering if that's why I'm struggling. I get so like lost in worlds that I just don't want it to end, but it needs to happen eventually, so we're just gonna go for it. So the first book that I'm hoping to finish this month is A Court of Silver Flame by Sarah J Maas. So this is the last one in the ACOTAR series. She has announced that she's doing some more, I believe. So there is some more coming. So that's how I'm like motivating myself, is this isn't actually the end of this universe. Like, I can revisit this again later. So I have started reading this already, and I have been reading it over the last couple of days. So I have made a good chunk into it. I'm on chapter 27 at the moment. And I am switching between reading this, like the physical book, and my Kindle, but just because this is so chunky. So this book follows Nesta and Cassian mainly. So this is sort of like their story. We do still have sort of like storylines finishing up from the previous books, and sort of like the dramas that were happening there are still going on now. We don't actually have anyone else's POV so far, I don't believe, if I remember correctly, but it is still following everybody else as well. So we've still got Moore, we've still got Rhys, we've still got Feyre. There's some very exciting news for their relationship in this book. It has definitely stepped up the spice level a notch, in my opinion, from sort of the other books. But I don't know if that's just because there's not really any spice in the novella. So I don't know if I've just kind of missed it in that and then come back to this and been like, okay. But yeah, this one is chunky. I do think it's going to take me a while to get through. Like I say, I'm on chapter 27, which I think works out about 40%. I'm definitely excited to read this book. I'm trying really hard to like motivate myself to pick it up more, just because I really want to see what goes on. I've got questions that need answers. I am just intrigued to see more about Nesta, because I feel like she's been so withdrawn in the past few books. I'm definitely looking forward to see sort of like her development as a character now that she is who she is and has the power she has. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing her true power, her true potential throughout this book. This is definitely the first one I want to finish this month. After that, I am planning on jumping straight into this one. So this is It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover, which is the second one to It Ends With Us. So this apparently picks up straight after. If you haven't read the first one, I don't want any spoilers. I will put here of where you need to skip to. This follows on straight after It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. So this follows Lily and Atlas sort of re-navigating their relationship. So at the end of It Ends With Us, she separates from Ryle and she bumps into Atlas again, and Atlas says at some point in the first book that, like, if you can ever let yourself love again, love me. And basically at the end of the book she's like, yeah, let's try. And that's like literally how the book finishes. I think this picks up pretty much straight after that. I do think it's due POV, so I think this is actually from Lily's and Atlas's perspective as well. So this is basically going to be like them navigating their relationship with Ryle's sort of like protective side, even though they're no longer together. There's obviously children involved now. If you've read the other book, you know that Ryle and Lily have a baby. This is basically like them figuring out how to co-parent, and also like how they are navigating these new relationships now that they're not together. If you've read the book, you know Ryle's a bit much, bit overprotective, bit horrible at times. So I'm intrigued to see sort of like how Lily and Atlas sort of like navigate that relationship. I am definitely excited to read this. This has been on the back of my mind literally since finishing It Ends With Us. Like as soon as I watched it in the cinema, I was like, okay, book two, let's go, book two. I'm definitely looking forward to reading this month. I am intrigued to see where this storyline goes. And then the third book that I want to read in September is Reckless by Elsie Silver. I just want a nice, light-hearted, fluffy read. And this might not even be that fluffy, to be honest, but I'm kind of hoping it is. So I love Elsie Silver. I love her books. Every book I've read by her so far I have loved. I've loved book 1, 2 and 3 in this series. This is book 4 in the Chestnut Spring series, and genuinely I have loved every book in that series so far. Like all of them have been 4 and above. So this one I believe follows Winter, which is Summer's sister from the first book, and Theo. Now I can't remember when we meet Theo. I think it was just in the last one, and it's Rhett from the first book. It's his new training partner guy. I don't entirely know, to be honest, but I'm pretty sure he only came in the last book. So I'm definitely intrigued to see how this goes, because like Winter, from my accounts, was quite a horrible, like grumpy sort of personality, whereas Theo seems quite like golden retriever kind of vibes. So I'm definitely excited to see how they navigate that relationship. I think that's going to be really interesting to read, and if it's anything like the others, it will be good and spicy, and I am definitely looking forward to this. If I remember correctly, yeah, I'm almost free of my toxic marriage and have sworn off men entirely. So Winter is like recently divorced, still sort of like dealing with that. So I am definitely looking forward to see how they navigate that relationship and that new sort of like bond, because I think they barely know each other at the beginning of this. I think they've only sort of met recently at the end of the last one. It's sort of like touched upon and prepped ready for book 4. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this one. I think it'll be really fun and exciting, and I just love a bit of spice, and I'm just looking forward to getting back into this series. I love this series. I have high hopes, I have high expectations. I really do want this to be good and spicy and just a nice, easy little read. I find Elsie Silver's writing so easy to read. Like I literally love it. You just get so immersed in the story and so lost, and all of a sudden you've read the whole thing in one sitting. That's what happens with these books. Like I've literally done that with 2 of them so far. I did it with Flawless and I did it with Heartless. Like I literally read them in 1 and 2 sittings, because I was just sat there having a little read, and then all of a sudden it was like 2 AM and I'm like, shit. So they are good. I'm not joking. You need to read this series. This series is top tier. So that is my August like sort of wrap up and my September TBR. I really am hoping to pick back up on reading and to read more than just those 3 books this month. I know like the first one's huge, but then the second 2 are only little, so I'm kind of hoping that I can get back into just like the habit and the routine of reading more. That is my hope, that is my plan, that is my expectation for the month. I need to get back into reading. I miss it. I do miss it. It's just getting that motivation and the concentration levels to just sit and actually read a book. Give me some recommendations. Give me something that you think I will like based on either the books I've read or the books I've talked about previously, or just give me your 5-star reads. I need something to just get me back into reading. I need that one book that just blows my mind. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and as always, my social media and Amazon and everything are in the description box below. So that is everything for today. I really do hope you're well and having a great week. We are officially in the autumn months, so it's like it's cozy season now. Get cuddled up with my book, my hot chocolate. I am praying for a good reading month. Let's do this together. Like, I really hope you will. Take care. Bye.